The Earth is big. Really, really big. Contortion, however, is very, very small. And unlike other small niche activities like football, soccer and the Olympic Games, there is no centralised spot. I am an amateur contortionist and I'm on an adventure. My goal is to discover these hidden communities, to learn their secret training techniques and to find out exactly what keeps them going when overdosing on painkillers is no longer a viable option. My name is Christian Ledbeater, and this is my journey. My journey has brought me to the generally quiet, or damn near coma-induced, Adelaide, which just so happens to be hosting the second largest fringe festival in the world. Known almost exclusively for two well-balanced massive silver balls, Adelaide is the town that most artists and performers, when planning their Australia-wide tour, generally skip over. However, at the start of every year, this generally quiet town hikes up its skirts, opens its doors and lets loose with a whirlwind of music, stage, art, and most importantly for me, a circus. I am sat here with contortion superstar Jonathan Nosan, who is currently performing in Limbo. Now, for those who haven't seen the show, what is Limbo?
Limbo is pretty awesome. If I can say awesome on this show.
You can say awesome, and we will bleep you out.
Awesome.
Regardless of this show's eventual classification, the aptly named Limbo, though I found it to be equal parts limbo and purgatory, takes the audience on a rather surreal journey through its numerous circus acts.
It's an amazing group that has come together from around the world. Performers, 6 acrobat, performer dancers, 3 musicians from Belgium, New York, Montreal, Australia, and it's just a gorgeous experience. Skip Shirey, who's the composer and musical organizer, he's worked with Scott, who's the producer and director of the show, and they were creating the concept, and Skip was introducing artists to him that he thought would be interesting and showed him my work. And you've seen some of my work. It's bizarre and strange and dark and disturbing.
Yes, it is.
And it was right up his alley.
Now, you're based in New York most of the time. Did it take much convincing to get you down here to Australia?
No, it was cool. I was up for it. And because I've been ready for a while for a right project to come along. Mainly I've been doing a lot of corporate work, which is fine, but somewhat unsatisfying in the soul and heart. So to have a project come together like this really satisfied everything that I was looking for. So, and I'd never been to this island before, so. I started in magic and juggling. That's what I did from 13 to 18 was my huge passion. And here we're doing illusions that actually belonged to David Copperfield, so it's just like making my teenage wet dream true. And so then after that, and then trumpet also was my main thing through junior high and high school. It's always been a big part of my life, and it's just great to be able to have these aspects of my past come to the present.
I don't know if attended is the right word. I submitted myself to one of your contortion classes in Las Vegas.
Have you recovered yet?
And then in the 2-week period that followed, managed to somehow completely forget the immense amount of pain you put me through, and did another in New York. While you're here in Adelaide, are there any plans for a local contortion class?
If it were organized, I'd do it.
Yeah?
Yeah, if it were organized, I would do it. We have 2 weeks to go, so.
I will organise the hell out of that contortion class.
Challenge accepted.
I'm always up for inflicting pain on people. You know me.
You're an evil man. Nestled away in a quiet back alley lies the Birdcage, a former movie theatre and the location of my next show.
Well, I just had this image in my head of a box and a telephone, and I just thought of this really quirky, crazy world with these two contortionists.
It's kind of the story of two sisters, and they're living in this kind of toy box reality together. I decide to run away and experience the world outside, and then it's kind of the story of us realising that we can't cope apart, we need to be together to exist properly. And I already had a tissue act, Jacinta already obviously had a contortion and a hula hoops, and we kind of reworked our acts and choreographed new stuff for the show, and completely from scratch made up our duo contortion and our duo aerial.
We did well. I don't really do aerials too much. Only did like a tiny bit, and Vicky really basically taught me aerial hoop. And I'm really scared of heights, so we got up there, which is really great. And
we started off with it like this high off the ground and just kind of like stepping onto it and going through it. And I've sneakily raised it up and up and up, and now we got to the venue and I raised it even more, and it was okay. So it's high as we've performed.
So you would have got to the venue and think, good lord. No. Okay, so this show was the first time you worked together. And who found who?
Well, I moved down to Melbourne last April, and I stumbled across Blue Studios, the circus space in which Jacinta lives. And it's actually funny, at first I came in and I saw Jacinta stretching, and I was a bit intimidated and didn't want to speak to her straight away, and then turned out that she was also a little bit intimidated, and we were both too shy to talk to each other. We started working together pretty quickly, actually. Yeah, and we first of all just started kind of stretching together, and then hanging out, and then now we're doing a show.
What do you think is the best thing for an up-and-coming contortionist to do?
Find a stretching partner. Start working with somebody else, and it really helps to have someone else just to provide that body weight to help you in those positions.
Massage as well.
Yes, massage, lots of massage.
Very important.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular masseuse you can recommend?
Jacinta.
Vicky.
Life's worth living when nature's giving happiness to everyone. So let's go sunning.
Hi, I'm looking for someone who would be interested in doing some team training. Are you looking to get more flexible? I need a gym buddy. I'm looking for someone to help me get into a deeper back bend. My hours are pretty flexible. Are you looking for someone to stretch you out? There'll be massages involved as well. I've been told this works better with a partner. No, I don't want to push you into anything. Well, no, yes I do, that's kind of the point of partner stretching, but I don't want to force you. Hi, I'm looking for a partner to help training contortion. Look at that, we're in the same boat. Would you be interested in that at all?
I'm only 12.
Is that your mum in your Facebook picture? My final two contortionists are Isabel and Ella Rose, who have absolutely no relation to one another. This seems to happen a bit in the circus industry. Anyway, for those who didn't see it, what is Alice in the Madhouse?
Well, it's a circus performance. It's got a lot of different circus acts in it, a bit of contortion. Acrobatics, there's aerials, adagio, we've really crammed in quite a lot of circus, and it all just helps to tell the Alice in Wonderland story with our own unique twist.
Pretty sure it was me and Ella just on a train to my house one day, and I think we just said, what if we did a show about Alice in Wonderland, but it was scary. I decided to pursue it, so I got the book and I've read it, and it actually translates really well.
A lot of the characters in the beginning scene are actually Alice's family members, and then as it goes on, they transform into the characters of the Madhouse.
and the relationships kind of continue between what was in the family scene originally, and then it all transfers through to the Wonderland madhouse, and then we end up back again at the family, and Alice is like, what's going on?
And everyone's really mean to me the whole time. Yeah.
This is it's not a NICA performance per se, but everyone here is from NICA.
Yes.
How long have you been studying?
We're in our second year now.
Or the
All
whole
of us.
cast.
Quite a large chunk of our year group is in this show, so they're probably pretty lonely without us right now, back in Melbourne.
So how big would the full group be?
23, 24?
23 in our year, and seven of us have gone.
So you've nabbed about a third of them.
Yeah.
You two are both specialised in contortion, I take it?
No, well, we do contortion hand balancing, so not contortion specifically, but we're both studying handstands, so we picked trainers wisely so that we could get some contortion in there as well. It's difficult because there's the whole thing of strength versus flexibility. You can't get too strong or you'll get unflexible, and if you get too flexible you won't be strong enough, and trying to keep all that together, so it's tricky.
I was really flexible when I was little. I'd never had any kind of training prior to just one day discovering that I could sit on my own head.
Sure.
I was very lucky, I suppose, to have found that young, and to have been in an environment where people could tell me that if I didn't really start doing some conditioning for my core and that kind of thing, that I'd end up with injuries. We train for 3 years. It goes through diploma, advanced diploma, and then you get your bachelor degree. You get 2 solo specialties and 1 group specialty.
In our first year we train in the mornings and theory in the afternoons. At the moment we come in, we do theory classes in the morning, we have our lunch break, we train all afternoon.
Wake up and do it all again.
Yes, go home, sleep it off.
The cobra, also known as fish, pigeon, inverted camel, king cobra, Rajacata potestana, the head-toe touch, and the that is totally not natural at all pose. Begin the pose by lying on your stomach with your knees on the board. Arms are placed by your side, and take 1 deep breath in and out. Place your hands to either side of your chest. Elbows should be tucked in and pointed towards your toes. Tilt the pelvis forward, trying to get your tailbone to the ground. Starting at the very top of the spine, tilt your head backwards and slowly begin to follow with each vertebrae. Push the chest forward, keep your pelvis tilted, engage your core muscles and push off the ground with your arms. As you reach the lower portion of your back, bend your knees and bring your feet up until they are touching the back of your head. Remember, do not push yourself any further than you feel you can comfortably go. And stop if you feel any pain. Please bring your feet to your head to continue the exercise. Please bring your feet to your head to continue the exercise. A little further. Once you have made contact between your feet and your head, one hand is removed from the ground and is used to grab that side's foot, keeping it held against the back of your head. The other hand is also brought around to grab the remaining foot. This position is held to a count of 10.
1, 2.
You may now release both hands and return to the floor. Slowly and gently. Remember, this exercise should not be attempted without first doing a half-hour warm-up.
As the Fringe wound to a close, I was getting ready for one more activity. I'd organised a contortion class for myself and about half a dozen others with Jonathan Nosan himself. Oh yes, this is it. This is what a bender abroad is all about. Me stretching with the big boys. So naturally, my cameraman called in sick at the last second, leaving me to hold the damn thing while everyone else had all the fun.
So, So I was all trained. My contortion's all trained. There's nothing naturally flexible about it. I started training when I was 22, from like 0-0. I trained all Chinese style. What we'll be doing is mainly back flexibility and hip opening. So I'll show you, first I'll show you what we're not gonna do. It's so much easier. We're not going to do splits like this, which are great big turned out splits. We're gonna do splits like super straight, square, engaged splits with a little bit of a lean back and a little bit of a scoop.
The major thing I learned was squaring the hips, because I know that was something I was trying to work on.
Standing tall, suck in your gut, tuck your tailbone. Good. Lovely.
Him explaining how to like corkscrew, I didn't really think of that, and how to like go down gently and pay attention to detail and keeping straight.
Now I need to just take one step forward, keeping the hips straight, square. So with your right foot forward, go down to a lunge, but it isn't like an ego lunge at all. It's just a little lunge.
I've known to keep your hips straight, but as much as we're doing it to lean back was very helpful plus painful.
Your knee hurts, then just pull forward. Pull forward over the knee fat. I'm not saying you have like fatty knees. Oh my God, your knees are so fat. Dear diary. The fattest knees. So embarrassing. Did anybody feel anything?
Yeah.
Oh, good. What I want you to really always constantly think about is never compacting the spine and never collapsing into the spine, but always elongating out of the spine.
It was a lot more focused on, you know, how you do things and correcting any technique that you've learnt in the past that maybe isn't so good for your back.
Everything comes from the core. Everything comes from here to here. So below the hip and kind of below the chest. So the back, so the flexibility in the back is nice. If you have that, great. But if you don't, really what it's coming from is embracing and engaging within the lower back, pushing the hips forward, opening out the hips, and controlling it from your center.
It was an eye-opener really in terms of how I'm going to connect my body.
But coming up, some of you did do a little bit of like butt first. No. So it's like the belly button comes up, lift, abs, chest, head, top.
You didn't fall into it, you had to control it a lot more because I'm naturally usually flexible, but to keep my flexibility strong.
Good. Stay slow, come back. You just want to flop into everything, don't you? Because you're flexible.
Yeah.
Any moves there surprise you?
Yeah, the handstands were really good at the end.
Roll off the toes, lift. Good. Lift the head. Good.
I had to work harder in spaces than I thought I would have to.
It's really, it's not easy, and you wouldn't be here if it were easy. None of us, you know, nobody who likes easy things says they want to contort.
And clearly I proved that from fainting a bit.
Wait, what?
I sort of, my vision got a bit hazy and then it sort of, just like that, I just sort of went out.
Train like this, to the point just before blacking out, if possible. If you do black out, you came back. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate that. That would have sucked.
As the performers packed their bags and the tents were pulled down, I reflect upon the advice and training techniques that I had been given. It had been an eye-opening 4 weeks. And yeah, sure, so I hadn't been able to participate in Jonathan's class. Like that was going to stop me.
Look, can you not see the image? Twist!